Hi, this is Oliver at K6OLI, and I'm going to walk you through the amateur radio community intensity map for Shakeout this year. First, you want to go to this address, laxnortheast.org/dashboards/shakeout. The link is in the description. We're currently running a test for this for another week or so. You can safely ignore this for now because we'll be talking about the Shakeout map here. Couple of things to observe about the Shakeout map. One, you can move the map any which way you want to, up, down, left, right, east, west, north, south. You can zoom in. You can use the zoom buttons here. That might be the easiest way of doing that. Or you can use Control plus scroll. Let's do that. Let's zoom in, let's say on Southern California, where a lot of stations have participated or are participating in our test right now. And one thing you can do, you can mouse over a specific station and click on it, and that will highlight all the information related to that station. For example, in this case, we can see they had intensity 7 on their report. If you want to undo that and show all the other stations again, just click on that same station again, and you can see all the other stations are highlighted. The estimated Mercalli intensity is given down here. I'll talk about that in a moment, how you can select for that. The colors are almost matched perfectly to the ones that USGS is using. So that's the map. If you want to zoom out, you can hit Control and scroll down, and you can zoom out. Actually see a couple of international stations there. You can zoom in on Washington or Texas or other stations. All right, exercise ID. For this exercise, it should be 2024 Shakeout. Obviously, there are variations that people have when they submit their Winlink DYFI reports, but for 2024, it should be 2024 Shakeout. In this case, we can actually just show the stations that submitted 2024 Shakeout by clicking only. You can see how everything else here is unselected or deselected. Or if you want to do some troubleshooting, you could unselect this and you see how everything's selected again. Or on top here, you can deselect everything and then select specific things you want to see. Let's say 2024 Shakeout, you can see there was a space in there. The station was located here. If you wanted to add the ones that submitted Shakeout, you can click on that and kind of get a good sense of where those stations are if you want to reach out and encourage them to use the 2024 Shakeout. And we can thank Andy, K3CAQ, who reached out to USGS for this. All right, let's select all the stations again. You can see up here, every time you make a filter selection, it tells you how many reports are shown. If we select everything on this, then there are 53 total reports. If, in this case, I have Shakeout, and I only want to see those, and we can see that's 46, then the number is 46 up here, and we can see that matches. If we add additional stations here, you can see this updates as well. So this number up here always tells you how many are being displayed. All right, let's select everything again. We can, of course, also check for particular intensities. That is super useful if you have a real earthquake and you want to see the higher intensities. So we have a filter up here that can do that. Let's say we want to see everything with intensity 6 or higher. So it can deselect everything and then select 6, 7, and 8. And then if you want to make this disappear, just click on the field up here in an empty part, and you can see our intensity distribution has changed down here, and the estimated Mercalli intensity indicator has changed here, as well as on the map, and we have 14 reports that have reported an intensity 6 or higher. And of course, we can click on them and find out additional information. And again, click again to turn this off. If, let's say, we only wanted to see intensity 8 reports, we can certainly do that. What you see here is these stations are cross-filtered. So I can select the intensity on the map, and it'll show me or highlight the intensity here, and we can see 4 reports with intensity 8. And it also updates this information. If I click on this again, it'll show me the 3 I selected in my filter here. And of course, I can do the same thing on this side and select, let's say, intensity 7, and you'll see the map update as well. So in this case, it only shows us intensity 7, and we can actually take a look at these stations. We could scroll in and we can see, okay, more stations reported intensity 7. So that is super useful for real earthquakes where you can identify which areas are reporting higher intensities. We can go back to our filter, turn everything off. Remember, now we're only showing 7. So what we want to do here is click on this again to bring everything back. You can see the intensity filter is turned off up here. Before we had 6, 7, and 8 selected, and now we see everything again. And we double check up here, number is 53. We can search by call sign. You can either select a specific call sign. If, let's say, we wanted to look at KN6 PDS, we can say only show that station. If we wanted to say look for a couple of stations that we know, we can actually select those. We can also search. Let's say if I wanted to look for K6, let's see, ALH, we can do that. If I wanted to look for everything with K6A, or if I wanted to look for something that starts with K7, which in this case we don't have anything, but you could see the different versions. If you do with K6, it'll show us everything that has a K6 in there, including the ones that are KK6. So keep that in mind. It'll look for partials within the call sign as well. That's super useful if you're looking for a particular type of station. And then, of course, we can select, let's say I want to see K6 IRF and K6 JPI, and I can see there are 4 reports that have come there, right? And we selected KD6 PYD earlier. You can see that here in our filter. And so these stations are selected. We can, of course, undo everything by clicking up here, checking all the stations, and now we see our 53 stations again. We can also do a call sign search, and that's, I think, super useful. Let's say if we wanted to look for this station, K6 JPI, we can type in Kilo 6, Juliet Papa India, and hit enter. And then it'll only show us that one station. And that's great if you want to look for your own report or reports and see what's going on there. You can still click on it, but one other cool feature is we have the Qrz Lookup. So we have the information in here. You can click on Qrz Lookup, and that'll pull up Qrz. You'll have to log in to see the details, but at least you get a good sense of what's going on with that station. And if it's a station in your neighborhood, maybe you want to reach out for emergency communications or preparedness if you don't know them already. All right. To undo the call sign search, we just highlight this and delete everything, hit enter, and that should give us our 53 reports again. So that's it for our Did You Feel It Shakeout reports map. We will have additional information on Shakeout coming up in a little while, including step-by-step instructions. Everybody's invited to use this because this map is for hams by hams. So you don't have to be in California, Washington, although we do really appreciate every California, Washington, West Coast station in general. But you can be from anywhere in the world, as our European friends have shown here, and it will map you. And hopefully that will help you show the usefulness of amateur radio to your local partners. And this is Oliver, K6OLI. Thank you for your attention. 7-3.